Hello. So we will continue with the last program point today. You can sit if you want. I'm very happy and pleased, also in the name of Kunsthalle Vienna, of course, to welcome Karl Holmqvist. He will come on the stage in a few seconds, and he will read. He will tell you more about what he is planning for tonight, or planned explicitly for tonight. It's a poem called Karl's Kill, and we have it here. For those who maybe you give this around. So I give a very, very brief introduction to Karl. Sorry. Very brief introduction. I'm sure most of you are already very familiar with his work. He is not an unknown artist in Vienna at all, but I insist on this to give an introduction, nevertheless. So, Karl artist is working as an artist in Stockholm and Berlin. He has participated in numerous shows, international shows, including Manifesta 7 in 2008 in Trento and Manifesta 8 2010 in Murcia. Performer 5 and 7 in New York, as well as the illumination section of the 54th Venice Biennale 2 years ago. Recent exhibitions include Moment, Give Poetry a Try at the Moderna Museet in Stockholm, that's running now. The Visit number 5 at the Bergen Kunsthalle in 2012, The Sun Shines for Everyone at the Kunsthalle Zurich in 2011, Palace Party at Kunsthalle Charlottenburg in Copenhagen in 2011, and Je ne travaille jamais, Moderna Museet in Stockholm 2010. In May 2012, he participated in the group show Ecstatic Alphabets, Heaps of Language at the Museum of Modern Art in New York. The artist Rikrit Tiravanit calls his friend the incomparable Karl Holmqvist in a film portrait he did of him. But that does not mean, however, that his works were created on portrait or portrayed on their own isolated universe. I would like to quote Frédéric Liev from Modern Museet, from the show, the creator from the show that is running now in Stockholm. Karl Holmqvist doesn't need to be interpreted conceptually. When his texts are read aloud, sensual dimensions are revealed, rhythms and harmonies in pleasure, sometimes humorous sound plays. So, now I'm very pleased to ask Karl to come on the stage, and we are looking very much forward to his reading and also speech after the reading. Thank you very much.
Karl's Kill. Taking a piss, sniffing a line, I'll be back in no time. Karl's Kill. Cats and birds and Bambi. Karl's Kill. Karl's Kill. Karl's Kill. Karl's Kill. Cars are for wankers with something to hide, picking up prostitutes from out of town, and underage boys that already feel old and tired. Pardon my dust. Cars are for car thieves with criminal pasts, boxed in deaths on wheels, destruction made easy and purpose-free. Silver Jackie, just turn the key. Hey honey, I'll just go for a drive around the block. Don't wait up. Cars are for jerk-offs with one thing on their mind, just waiting to die, even though they are dead already. Sit and stare at the traffic lights going nowhere. Cars are wrong. Cars have strong colors that hurt the eye and hard edges that make us die from inside. Car drivers are bad news, fashion disasters. They just don't care. Shapeless bodies come spilling out, badly in need of some exercise, filling up every available area, turning each street into a parking, turning every field into a pipeline, a pollution wasteland of billowing black smoke and leftover spare parts that lie rusting in the dirt. An environmentalist's nightmare, a ticking time bomb about to go off, collecting the trash, heap of scraps, worn down tires, flick a match, forest fires, tornadoes, floods, and drafts, a global warming towering inferno. How can you ask for forgiveness when you don't know where to go? How can you get directions for a bleeding open sore you should have learned already? Like Jesus a long time ago. Foul language leave a bad taste in your mouth. Mixed up emotions that need to be let out. A tear of petrol is in your eye. The handbrake penetrates your thigh. Blinking red lights, accelerating madness can't be stopped. Rubber smell, burning every turn, burning black out, can't remember a thing. Hey honey, I just wanted to feel real, like I was your guy on top of things for once. Cars kill courses year-round. Cars kill courses year-round. Heavy clouds and mountains of gloom. Cars are for dishonest people, forever repeating some empty arguments for spreading their lies and the taking of innocent lives. A silenced desperation, a suppressed scream behind the wheel, with bloodshot eyes trying to see the road between exhaust fume, burning bushes, knuckles going wide. Distraction, destruction made easy and purpose-free. Silver Jackie, just turn the key. Pull the plug, switch the switch, and soon enough this entire planet will be nothing but a desert field war camp, desperately waiting for supplies. Hey honey, can you tell me how you feel? Do you know the street? Can you see the wheel? Hey honey, can you feel your feet? How can you drink and drive, liquid lunch, sleepless nights, highway, island, highway patrol, a tear of petrol? Do you mind pulling over and open your fly? Cars kill, subtlety and silence, bring on the violence, the attitudes and the dudes. Cars are for loonies with one black eye, a tooth for a tooth, an accident waiting to happen. Cars are in the way when you want to go somewhere, stealing the streets from skateboarders, rollerbladers, mountain bike riders, 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 and alternative vegetable growers. Car alarm, gadget culture, driving things from one end and back again. Hey, Einstein, MC square, going on empty with no more fuel anywhere. Car drivers can always try and lock themselves up behind mirror-tinted glass with hollow honking horns, hoping that metal carcass is somehow going to protect them when the big one comes. How can you ask for forgiveness when you don't know where to go? How can you get directions for a bleeding open sore? You should have learned already, like Jesus, a really long time ago. So this was written some years ago when they first started to put these smoking kills things on cigarette packs, and I was upset about how there was somehow a kind of scapegoating going on with cigarettes, that all pollution and all lung disease and problems that we have from pollution was somehow coming from cigarettes and not from airplanes, refrigerators, and cars. And I was thinking, or saying to my friends, we could all smoke 2 packs a day if we didn't have all these cars in the cities. And there seems to be some need for turning things around. That cars are always seen as sexy and smart and utilitarian, and smoking is stupid and a waste of whatever, when it's actually the other way around. And there's also some kind of, especially then in inner city landscapes, there's some kind of hierarchy. I mean, it's different in different places. If you take a bus, not in the city, but between cities in India, like I did some time ago, there's a boy, maybe 12 years old, next to the chauffeur with a big stick. And his job is, I was horrified to find out, his job is to chase goats and donkeys and things that are in front of the bus, but he was also somehow hitting people and cyclists and anything that was in the way of the bus. And there is this kind of hierarchy where you have animals at the bottom, and then pedestrians, and then bicyclists, and then maybe sacred cows, and then maybe public buses, and then you have taxis and private cars, and at the top you have politicians in motorcades and militaries, and this is something you can think about it as a poet, and make these kinds of reversals of what is and we could all have streets of moss and grass and flowers in inner cities if we didn't have all these stupid cars going around. We could have silence, which is also important, and social life in the streets. Kids could play maybe with each other, and stuff like that. There is a friend of mine, Tenzing, who lives in Basel. He's publishing a magazine called Wandering that I just contributed to, and he lives in Basel, right? So it's a magazine about hiking and different ways of and we were just talking about how walking is also somehow conductive to writing and to thinking, that you can straighten your thoughts or have your sentences formulated in usually, I mean, the kind of classical thing is, I guess, the writer going back and forth in their studio, but if there was a different idea of city planning, that the studio could somehow be extended into the city, and you don't think when you go too fast. I mean, there's a different idea of how you generate and digest your surroundings, and walking is good for poets and thinkers, and public transport is good for seeing what other people are doing in your surroundings. Margaret Thatcher, the ding-dong witch who died this winter, and the former Prime Minister of England, of Britain, famously once said that any man over 25 who finds himself on public transport over the age of 25 can consider himself a loser, and there's a lot of problems with this statement. Like, why is it only about men or any man, and why would you be? I mean, anyone who is not on public transport over the age of 25 would be a loser, would be losing out on what cities are supposed to be about, and that's some of the things I was trying to channel into this poem and this reading. So think about it and Thank you very much.